Lovely day here at Twickenham, clear and bright, quite a bit of wind which will make it difficult in some cases, but a perfect day for rugby. Twickenham, the headquarters of the English Rugby Football Union, or the Rugby Football Union as they insist, full again for the second day running. Here's the haka. I always envied them that. What a way to warm up immediately before the start. A last check on the New Zealand starting 15, that formidable back division. Wilson, Umaga, Cullen, Yaramir and Lomo is there intact. The one area of concern for the All Blacks, though, has been halfback. The mercurial Andrew Mertens is fit to play after injuring his knee against Scotland last week. He'll be partnered by Byron Kelleher, who has ousted the out-of-form Justin Marshall. There are no changes in the forwards. Craig Dowd is still preferred to Case Muse, and Ruben Thorne continues at number 6. Well, France are still experimenting as they attempt to find a back division which can recapture the old flair. Xavier Garbajosa gets another run at fullback after scoring 2 tries against Argentina, while Emile Ntamak continues at centre. Fabien Galtier was not in the original World Cup squad, but has now leapt ahead of Stéphane Castanet at scrum half. In the forwards, Cédric Soulette replaces the banned Christian Califano. Fabien Pelouse is back after his one-match suspension, and he'll be partnered in the second row by the veteran Abdel Latif Benazi. There's the man in charge, Jim Fleming, his 38th international game. There's the new man, winning, in fact, his 7th cap, but this is only his 2nd start, and the first one was against Italy when the All Blacks put out what was very much a second team. So this is a big breakthrough for him. He's been pushing very hard, and now it appears that he's overtaken Justin Marshall. There is Xavier Garbajosa, really a winger. This is his 3rd start at fullback. The first one, ominously, was when France were beaten 54-7 by the All Blacks in Wellington back in the summer. And the second one was in that quarter-final against Argentina. Big Jonah. Some people don't need a second name. Jim Fleming just getting the final signals. Everybody's ready, and we're away. Good start for the French, regaining their own kickoff. It's always a confidence booster. Ntamak, who's hoisted it high, just testing Wilson in the wind, but it was too long. He had plenty of time. And he's got very safe hands in any case, and that's a monster kick from the All Blacks fullback.
Yes, if you kick to Jeff Wilson, you've got to do it better than that. Needed more height. It was more of a hit and hope type of kick, wasn't it? And Jeff Wilson, he'll gobble those up all day long.
You really do feel, Steve, that this French back division is a bit of a back division of bits and pieces. Ntamak, full-back and winger, now in the centre. Chip and go from La Maison. But offside, the All Blacks up too quickly. And it was Brian Campsell, the English touch judge, who advised the referee of that one. So, 1 minute gone, and I think Christophe Lamaison might well be going for goal. Can the French take the lead? Pretty straight, but just over 40 metres.
We saw some great kicking here yesterday in that first epic semi-final. Certainly within his range, no problem with that.
Down in Brive, where he plays his club rugby, there's always the big build-up. Christophe Lamaison yells the PA announcer every time there's a kick. Has been known to freeze a little bit on the big occasion. I can remember in the European Cup semi-finals him hooking a vital kick past the near post. He needs to be smack on today. And he is. That's a beautiful kick. Solid, straight down the middle. And New Zealand find themselves trailing. France 3, New Zealand 0.
Just the start France need. Can they keep it up for 80 minutes? That's the question.
Mertens. And the All Blacks making another mistake. Very un-New Zealand-like play. They got men in front of the kicker as he went to put the ball the wrong side, as it were, and try and catch them. So there's the pack weight, 16-12 and 16-8, much smaller than yesterday. Both packs were over 18 stone yesterday. And straight away, Galtier is penalised. Free kick. Free kick at the put in on the scrum. And the French sense a turnover. They've got it back again. Laid back. Oh, and Jim Fleming is penalising the French for holding on. He's determined, obviously, to make his mark on this match early doors.
Yes, that was a pity for France. They actually had the turnover. New Zealand started this game very uncharacteristically, making several errors. Here's the penalty. Jim Fleming saying France holding on too long, and look, they'd won it. They turned it over. In the end, they gave away the penalty.
And Andrew Mertens has signalled that he's going to go for goal. He's got the wind helping in the shade. It's not straight down the pitch, it's more blowing from west to the northeast corner. Not much of him, just 12 stone 12. See that strapping on his left knee, that was the one he got a bang on against Scotland. There was no muscle damage or tendon damage. Well, he's got stacks of length. Hits the post. Olivier Magna. And Magna just getting away. Not a knock-on, says the referee. And the French coming up with the ball. Oliver trying to turn it, but doesn't succeed. Lamizon. To Buntebank. Well, what's he going to give there? There was a knock-on by the French, but I think the dangerous tackle might have been given. No, he's decided it's okay. He thought about it. It goes wide to Jonah. Bernard Sell bounces off, and all the French offside. As they tried to get up on that dangerous New Zealand back division really quickly, they were caught offside.
Shades of the England game, that, wasn't it? Just where Lomu took it, and he scored that great try against England. Couldn't quite hold on to that one.
And after all the excitement, they quiet down again, and Mertens will go for goal again.
Looked high, John, didn't it?
Well, the referee certainly saw it. It was knocked on before that, but I've certainly seen referees decide that that would be such a serious offence that they'd call him back. He thought about it and decided against it. Andrew Mertens, 560 points, second highest scorer for New Zealand behind Grant Fox, and he's now homing in on him. Fox had 645 points for New Zealand. Another difficult one. Again, it's hit beautifully, but he's missed it on the right post. 0 out of 2 for Mertens.
Yes, tried to curl it in, just didn't give it enough. John Hart won't be very happy with that. Unusual shaky start from New Zealand.
I think they'll be very anxious to get themselves going. Too many people have sort of treated this game as if they're bound to win it. I'm sure John Hart has been trying to guard against that. Keller gets out of one tackle. Tough little character, he's nearly 15 stone. Clears the ball to Mertens. Hoists it high. Lomu is going for it. Gabi Yoser and Bernard Sal, no communication at all, collided with each other.
Making the point though, John, isn't it? A winger playing full-back, a winger playing in the centre. It's all bits and pieces, isn't it? With big Jonah bearing down on you, you do tend to take your eye off the ball, don't you?
So New Zealand have a good attacking line-out position. Benazi all over the line-up, closing the gap, gives away a free kick, not a penalty. So they can't go for goal. That's it. Definitely for closing the gap in the line-out. It rates only a free kick, an indirect penalty, as against the full one. A little wall. Oliver Dowd. Oliver it was. Kelleher straight through. Juillet gets hold of him. Pulls him down, but he's still going. Oliver again tidies up, sets it up. A little fumble, but it wasn't, and a penalty again against the French. They were up too quickly, and a simple kick this time, just to the left of the posts.
Well, they made an offside, but Galtier was one heck of a tackle he put in there. See the French just creeping up. Watch Galtier. Oh, he slices Cullen in two. It's a great hit.
That was impressive. He's not renowned for that. It just shows that the French are fired up. They're very sore that a few people have written them off before this game begins. They're determined to give a good account of themselves. But Andrew Mertens now, with just over 9 minutes gone, has a great chance to level things up. No mistake that time. And it's New Zealand 3, France 3.
We'll see if that'll settle them down a little bit. If France can just get on a roll, we know what they're like. They can play great rugby when they're flowing.
Up goes the drop out. Good high one, but it's straight into touch. A bad mistake. And the scrum back this time on the centre spot to the All Blacks.
Yeah, and that's just what they didn't want. Big blind side now for New Zealand. They tend to go right in these occasions. Bring Wilson in if they can.
And Wilson lurking menacingly out on the right. Absolutely right. There it goes. Cullen cuts inside. Just gets ankle tapped and brought down as he was about to sprint away. Recycled well, though. Mertens will kick this time. Gabajosa comes across. And the bounce was horrible. He can't touch it down because he touched that ball in the air. And that would give away a 5-metre scrum. Instead, he's come up with a magnificent kick. Where did that one come from?
Well, he made amends there, didn't he? Made a bit of a mess of it at first, turned round and whacked it down fully 70 metres.
Anton Oliver, the man who'll be throwing in, his father Frank, an All Black back in the 70s, played all the tests against the 77 Lions. Kelleher, side to Mertens, he has to run that way, straight to Bernat Sal. He goes straight in, he's done well. Galtier, a little wriggle through. Juillet sets it up. The Stade Francais man, they get it wide to Bernat Sal, back inside to Benazzi. Galtier again, La Maison this time, and Pelouse. France making a good dent in the middle. There's little Dominici. Oh, what a pity for France. He held on in the tackle to stop the All Blacks stealing the ball off him.
Yes, it was a pity. Good rugby from France. Because though they're just getting a little bit of a roll. Dominici just held on too long. Nice little break. Almost got through. And there you can see him holding on.
Must have been very encouraging for France, that little passage, Steve. I mean, they got some good continuity going, the forwards getting confidence to take the ball up, and they were making a few holes there.
Well, like you say, Jonah, I think the pride's been hurt this week. People have just written them off completely. And we know they can play when they want to.
The man in the wars, the man who's so often at the bottom of them all, Josh Kronfeldt, a real warrior on the field and a bit of an eco-warrior off it. He's a real environmental protection fan and loves nothing more than down in his Otago beach house to go surfing and all the other country things that there's so much chance to do in New Zealand. Andrew Mertens, he looks to be moving certainly perfectly freely. Good leap there from Maxwell. Immediately starts to drive forward. They're trying to roll it off the side, but well done by the French. Kronfeldt has to feed it. They didn't give an inch. Mertens forced to hurry his kick. It didn't go as far as he wanted. Benazzi, who's having a big game so far, comes up with the ball. La Maison, lovely spiralling kick from him. That looks terrific. And it is.
Well played, France. Giving them a game, aren't they? La Maison started very well. And France on the attack. Here's the kick. Beautiful spiral on it. Nice big gap for him. Hit it well.
And again, it was the French really trying to attack up the line out. They did it illegally. And Frank Tournaire just getting bundled around a bit. He likes that sort of thing.
Yeah, the problem is, though, they're giving too many penalties away, John. You see it there in the line out, just a little bit over-eager.
Down into the French half, just inside their 10-metre line. Anton Oliver will have the throw. He overtakes his father today, his 18th cap. Father Frank won 17. Oh, and a beautiful jump, well read by Pelouse. And they take one off the All Blacks. La Maison chips through, but that's dangerous. Kelleher gets away, so strong. Jeremiah. And they've lost the ball again. Kronfeldt, Cullen. Where it goes to Wilson. And I wouldn't bet on their chances, but beautifully brought down by Garbajosa. And Jim Fleming, was he reaching in his pocket then? He's calling somebody out.
Here's the break, one-on-one, Jeff Wilson. He'd have put money in beating him, but he didn't. Good tackle by Garbajosa, did well, the French fullback.
Mr. Fleming has penalised Garbajosa, who made that terrific tackle. He did so well to stop Wilson, but he's penalised him for then just lying on the ball. And Mr. Fleming very clear that this was a professional foul, and he's, again, laying down the ground rules very clearly at the start.
Yes, and that's good, setting the standards early.
Coming up to 17 minutes gone. Danger for the French. Maxwell, and in goes the big drive. Really attacked that ball. Repelled the first time by the French, repelled again. And it was a French hand went in there to try and scrape it back. Penalty again. The French got to be careful here because they mustn't allow themselves to get rattled, Steve.
Yes, they look very fired up to me.
And this time, having had one go for the line, Mertens decides to go for goal.
France did well here, defended it well. In the end, hands on the ball, that's what Mr. Fleming's saying. Once it's on the floor, you can't touch it.
Well, just what you were saying, Steve. Look, France have been penalised 7 times to New Zealand's 1. They've got to keep their discipline. It's one thing being fired up, it's another thing just losing it.
Yes, if you're giving anything like 10, 15 penalties away in your first half or second half, it's just too high nowadays.
Mertens again. Over it goes, and New Zealand take the lead in the 18th minute. 6-3.
You give penalties away, Andrew Mertens will punish you, that's for sure.
2 from 4, he missed those first 2, but they were both difficult ones. And he's been right on target, as he usually is, with the 2 simple ones. La Maison, much shorter this time, he's not taking any chances, and Benazzi got to it well. Just flipped it back. France have it. And again, La Maison pushing them to the corner. Wilson just letting it go over the try line, touches down for a 22 dropout. Mertens goes long. La Maison is back there. Gives it to Benazzi to make the hard yards. Lovely break from Dominici, he's got real pace. Lovely running from Dominici. Caught just a metre short. And the French will want this one quickly. They've got men over. Over goes La Maison, a glorious score. Great rugby from the French.
Well, we know France can play when they want to, and it looks to me as though they want to in this one. Terrific try from France. Dominici, lovely break here. Got gas to spare. Weaving, mazy run. Great tackle in the end, just drags him down. Now here's where they want quick ball. It's got to come out quickly. There's a massive overlap on the right. Ball appears, and it's a walk-in. Big Jonah on his own.
I think there'd have been some screaming from the right, Steve. He looked left first. But what a great try. Dominici has always impressed me. Only a little man, but my goodness, he can go.
Yeah, we've seen some great French wingers over the years. Dominici got plenty of pace, John, like you say.
La Maison makes no mistake with the conversion. It's game on. France 10, New Zealand 6.
This is what we love to see. French backs running with ball in hand. Here was the quick ruck, had to come out quickly. You say he almost went left, didn't he? Screaming to the right, massive overlap, good score.
And that La Maison's second try for his country. Richard Duart puts the ball down. There was no run, that was after the tackle, and Lomu just stepped in and picked it up. Dowd. And a French hand just trying to stop them again. In fact, it was not Dowd, it was Case Muse. Sorry, it wasn't Case Muse at all, it was Carl Hoft, the loose head prop, who took that one up.
Yeah, there was a silly penalty. Livremont, you can see in there, Jim Fleming screaming, let the ball go.
And instead, Mertens gets another pot at goal.
Playing well though, France. Benazzi's having a massive game, isn't he? He's everywhere.
Certainly is. He was out of favour, out of sorts. The man who, in his first cap, lasted just 14 minutes before he was sent off against Australia. Right back in 1990. Mertens, again a beautiful strike. Over it goes, 1 point only in it. France 10, New Zealand 9.
You've got to say, so far, France playing all the rugby. But whilst you're giving away these penalties, Mertens will always peg you back.
Andrew Mertens, actually born in Durban, but very much a New Zealander. His father was a junior All Black, and his grandfather played for the All Blacks right back in 1928. Kelleher hoists it high, but Tana Umaga is after it. Garbajosa didn't even get near it. Dominici is hounded down by Kronfeldt. Danger here, Cullen flips onto Lomu. Lomu steps outside. Cuts inside. He's still not down. He's over! And Lomu breaks the deadlock for the All Blacks. Regains the lead for them. And France look frightened.
Oh, I don't believe that. There must have been 6 Frenchmen trying to drag him down. He had a bit of an overlap. He didn't want to know it in the end. Look at this, he just veers infield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Frenchmen trying to haul him down. Benazzi brushed off in the corner, and Lomu crashes over for another sensational try.
Incredible. His 14th try in Rugby World Cup.
The thing is, John, there's big men hitting him here. Benazzi's had a go at him, the number 8's had a go at him, and he's not just knocking off small men, he's knocking off huge men.
7 in the 95 World Cup and 7 in this one now. That's a record for Rugby World Cup. Nobody else has scored anywhere near that number of tries in Rugby World Cup. He loves this stage. Mertens, but he hooks it a shade. So, New Zealand back in the lead, 14-10, thanks to the big man again.
You'd watch him all day long, couldn't you? Picks it up well, it wasn't a good pass. Goes for the outside first, then he veers infield. Benazzi gets it first of all. Juillet has a go at him, he can't keep hold of him. Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
La Maison. Benazzi's up there again. This time he can't get it, but Oliver just knocks on. And no advantage. He played advantage, but they'll go back for the scrum. It'll be a French put in. You have to say, Steve, that Emile Ntamack does not look a very happy centre, does he?
No, he never has, John. He played there in the summer tour of New Zealand. Didn't look completely out of place.
And they had a remarkable line at one stage there. They had little Thomas Castanet and Ntamack in the centre. No wonder they got torn to pieces. But he doesn't line up properly for the tackles in the centre. It's a totally different sort of defensive alignment to playing on the wing or fullback. Galtier. La Maison chips through, but straight to Wilson, who marks it. Poor kick. Wilson just hits it high and huge, lets the wind do the rest, and suddenly France are back in their own 22.
Sensational. There's one guy who you cannot kick down his throat because he will make you pay. And he made France pay there, that's for sure. It's a massive kick.
Christophe La Maison. Abdel Benazi comes up with the line out. Into touch. Referee Jim Fleming showing off with his French. Jouer le ballon we got from him then. Play the ball. Norman Maxwell, who's come in to the side this year, made his debut against Samoa, and he's taken over from Ian Jones, but they didn't find him that time, and that was Mania who came up with the ball. Durant tries to go through the middle. Set up by Mania, but Jim Fleming has spotted a knock-on.
Yes, but that's the way France have got to play, John. They've got to run at New Zealand. We know it's not easy, but we know the French backs can be very dangerous given ball.
Yeah, I think the plan is simple. They've got to keep playing rugby. They're doing that well, and they mustn't give away the penalties. Kelleher penalised for feeding his own scrum. Not straight at the put-in. Pelouse takes it up to halfway. Galtier finds La Maison. Mania. Nicely set up. La Maison again. Dominici. And he can really go. Garbajosa into the first one. But Cullen's going to beat him there.
Oh, what a shame. There was a try on there. Just kicked it too hard.
But the important thing for their confidence, Steve, is yet again, they've managed to open them up. Completely game. A different sort of game to the one we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Still fascinating, though. Look at this lovely overlap there. Dominici's having a great game, isn't he? And here he just puts too much on it. Try was beckoning.
Well, France must be encouraged. There's the skipper, Rafael Ibanez from Perpignan. Spanish name, he's almost over the border. Well, I thought Ryan Capsule, the touch judge, might have a word to say about that. The French sort of bundled off the ball. Umaga almost coming up with it. But a knock-on by the All Blacks. France have an advantage. They spin it wide. They've got men out here. Mania pushes off. Great run from Mania. Chips when he had support inside. But Bernard Sal, can he get to it first? And what's he given? Well, he's given a 22. I'm not so sure about that one.
Well, we'll see it here. Mania, he's playing well. Goes round Mertens, goes round Lohman. Once again, chipped through. Now let's keep our eye on the ball. Who gets the touch? Bernard Sal chips through. Oh, I think it's Wilson. I think it's a good call, John.
Well, it was before the line, though. That was in play at that stage. It then broke loose. That was not over the try line when Wilson touched it down.
So we disagree, do we?
It's just what happened from there. I'm not sure whether anybody actually got a touchdown in touch and goal. Lovely little kick. The French keeping their game together well, constantly testing the All Blacks.
You were seeing it in slow-mo. Wilson certainly gets his hands on it before the line, John, you're right. Now, who touches it down here? Well, it's very close, isn't it?
Well, that could have been a try. But certainly the one thing it was not was a 22 dropout, because Wilson touched it before the line, he pushed it back over the line, so the very least it should have been for France was a 5-metre scrum.
Yeah, there's certainly a case in this World Cup, isn't there, for these kind of things to be seen back on video. Very hard for the referees to tell.
And that's Christophe Jouillet in trouble. Never really had a run in the team. Made his debut right back in '95. This is his third in a row, the best he's had. Garbajosa hoists it high, chases after. It's going to land outside the 22. Mertens kicks it back to the right. Back goes Intermac. Now he's out in his right position on the wing. Ought to know what to do here. Cuts in field and he's slammed down. And Intermac knocking on as he went into the tackle. That's criminal.
That's poor play from a guy who we know can play. France very unlucky. Could have had a couple of tries in the last 5 minutes.
2 and 4, the handling errors. And it was Galtier pointing out to the referee that that one wasn't too straight either, but Kelleher gets away with it. Mertens, or back inside Jeremia. Well tackled that time by Antimac. Mertens chips. Wilson looking dangerous. Dominici, oh, and he skips around Wilson. That's not easy to do. Very well set up by the winger. Over Lomu's head, it needs to be. Roar of expectation from the crowd. But this time the kick is forward, goes straight down to Lemazon. Chip and go, but Kelleher read it well. French are not back 10, but the advantage being played. Away comes Ruben Thorne. Wilson injecting pace, Dominici gets him. And the two Frenchmen there cutting the All Blacks in half. Now they're in danger area. Umanga, but Benazi stops him and allows the others to get to him. Penalty to the All Blacks.
New Zealand playing French-style rugby.
And that was, again, the French not getting away from the ball once they tackled the man.
It's a disaster area for him, isn't the Rooks and Mauls, giving away far too many penalties. That was the big hit on Maxwell. Here's where it broke down. France trying to, New Zealand trying to keep it alive. France killing it.
And Ibanez, the French captain, getting a caution for dangerous play called by Ed Morrison. The touch judge leading in with his head, just going in dangerously. Penalty against him, so it all changes, and the All Blacks have a penalty over on the, for them, right touchline. And they push it into touch just inside the French 10-metre line. Well, once again, the Lomu factor is the only difference between the sides. Apart from that one moment, France have looked the more dangerous. Knock on, well done the French again in the tackle. They got a hand on the ball and stopped the All Blacks setting it up. It was precisely as they wanted to.
They played really well this first half, France. Very unlucky not to get another score. Still only 14-10.
Pelous back at the number 8 slot. Garbajosa in for Mac. Sets it up and they've kept it going. And again the French going in from the side and just piling over and giving away the penalty. They've really got to cut down on the penalty count.
Yeah, they're committing rugby suicide.
Pierre Villepreux in the middle there, and next to him Jean-Claude Skrilla, and on the left of Pierre Villepreux was Joe Mazzo, the manager. Well, look at that. That is a dreadful tale of penalties given away. Most of them totally unnecessary, Steve.
Absolutely, you don't want to give 10 penalties away in the whole game, let alone the first half.
Oh, and a great jump by Bruce. And they said but the first man was lifted too quickly, too early, and that's what put off the All Blacks. That's why he's given the free kick. And the All Blacks have elected to have a scrum instead.
Lifting too early, that's what he said, and he's right. Benazi got up very quickly.
The pity was they didn't need it. Bruce, the man who's come on for Juillet and has gone into the second row. Oh, look at that through the middle, Umanga. But again, the French blue line holds. Mertens, this is dangerous. Wilson back inside to Lomu. Bruce gets a very firm grip on him this time and says, you're going nowhere. Penalty again, and a French hand in the ruck. France have got to keep their cool, haven't they, Steve? Because we've seen before in this sort of situation, once they start to get frustrated, they suddenly lose it.
Yes, Jim Fleming very clear. You can see it there, hands in the ruck. Once it's on the floor, you can only play it with your feet.
No question about that. A very, very straightforward decision. It is still amazing that when the game's played at this level, the number of people who do try and turn rucks back into mauls. We're into the 40th minute. Mertens from the 5-metre line. That looks good. Oh, it is. Drills it straight through the middle. New Zealand increased their lead 17-10. And in some ways, hard to believe, except for that penalty count, because France have certainly played more of the attacking rugby.
Yes, that's a shame. France can be pleased with the first half. Could have added with a couple of tries, bounce to the ball.
2 minutes, but we know not to rely on the board. It will be the referee who decides. Kelleher hoists it high, and that's Pelous who's back there. Gabajosa. Well, that's a tough man to get round. Umaga bringing him down. And a penalty this time to France. Only the second penalty given away by the All Blacks. Galtier takes it quickly. Tunair hurled backwards, but Entomac, Gabajosa, Bernat Sal-Bruze. Good setup from the French. Mania, he's really hitting his weight today. Wants to be back in the sort of form he was 2 seasons ago. Bernat Sal, oh, and turnover, Kelleher away. Galtier trying to get to him. Dominici will get to him. The French have stolen the ball, but they've held on again. Another penalty conceded. And Richard Dort, now he's known for being a hothead, losing his cool and getting in there. Frank Tunair's angry. I think it was the referee assaulting a player.
Yeah, Jim Fleming right in the middle of it. You want to get out of there, Jim.
And here we've got a little consultation. Brian Campsell, the touch judge, and Jim Fleming. A full resume from Campsell and Fleming. They had a good old discussion there, quite interesting, because Campsell was saying to Fleming that the French are beginning to think things are going against them, and the All Blacks went to ground diving in over the top, but the first offence was certainly not rolling away again after the tackle. See Richard Dort there, clinging onto the ball. Yeah, I think they were a touch unlucky again, because Kelleher wasn't releasing either.
A little bit going on the ground, that's for sure. A little bit of hugging and kissing.
So, 3 minutes of injury time suddenly gone, and the end result is that Mertens has another chance. Is it going to make it? No, wide of the right-hand post. France escape. Jim Fleming says that's enough for the first half. The game still anybody's, everything to play for. New Zealand 17, France 10. So ready for the second half to start. France, unluckily, 7 points adrift. Mertens hits it long. Mania comes up with it. Ibanez, the captain, takes it up. Again, driving at the heart of the All Blacks. Comes back. La Maison. And remember, the French have got a little bit of help from the wind in this half, and La Maison immediately uses it to drive the All Blacks almost back to their own 22.
Good start from France in the second half. That's what they want to do, up the tempo, drive it through the forwards.
Well, from a French point of view, one hopes that all the conversations were about a little more discipline. Don't panic. You've got to stop them, but you're doing well at doing that. Maxwell comes up with the line-out ball for New Zealand. Mertens. Bernard Sall puts it onto the big forward Palouse. He drives it up. Again, a good drive from the French forwards. Well, Ntamak for a big man. Getting knocked backwards. Duart puts it down. Almost to the 22.
Well, France have started well. Plenty of pressure on the All Blacks.
Yeah, the only one still looking out of sorts is definitely Ntamak. There again, the move lost all its momentum when the ball got to him. The All Blacks this time driving away from their own line-out. Kelleher back to Mertens. There's the kick. The French line-out still in the All Blacks half.
So Mertens this time going for touch. Kicked half of it away.
He does kick always quite a lot in this game, though. It's good variety. He knows when to move it. That's Olivier Bruzet. His father, believe it or not, still holds the French shot put record, set right back in 1973. Duart going in for that one. Ntamak brought Umanga down, and a penalty to the All Blacks. And Mania making his version of the decision really well felt. He claims that Umanga was clinging onto the ball after the tackle. Jim Fleming says it was a French hand.
I'd say Fleming's right again, John. Umanga put the ball away from him. He can do that. And you saw a French hand go in, block it.
Well, the French said it was going to be different today. When they went on the summer tour, they had a horrible tour. They lost to Tonga, would you believe? And the mat test in Wellington, their biggest ever defeat from New Zealand, 54-7. But they're certainly providing worthy opposition today. Lomu through the middle, well tackled, beautifully tackled that time, backed by Lièvremont. Oh, and that bounces wickedly. Garbajosa can do nothing about it. And it's a French throw into the line out inside their own 22.
They need to win this one. The All Blacks will compete it.
Remember, these two teams contested the first ever World Cup final in Auckland. New Zealand won that one 29-9. Back it goes to La Maison. Wilson right underneath it. This is dangerous. He's got Umanga and Lomu. This time, though, they go for the option back to Wilson. Back inside to Lomu. Pass one, pass two. Here he goes again. Bundling them off, and the big man is over for his second try. They just worked the variation a shade, but again the danger was he got the ball in open field.
Well, I just couldn't believe that. La Maison just kicked it straight down Wilson's throat, and who's outside him? With Jonah alone, if you want to kick to two people in the world, you don't kick to those two. Garbajosa did a good job of getting out of the way there, didn't he? Oh, these two will punish you all day long.
Well, it was at the semi-final stage where Jonah Lomu tore England apart in 1995 with 4 tries. He's got 2 already in this one. His 25th try in 37 tests for New Zealand.
As soon as La Maison kicked it down Wilson's throat, you knew something was on.
Over goes the kick, and New Zealand have opened a gap. 24-10 they lead.
Fantastic pace and power. Frenchman getting out of his way.
Eventually Fabien Galtier got his legs, but it was far too late. Well, that should be a lesson to you, La Maison. France come up with the ball. Mania runs straight at Randall. Ball went backwards, no knock on. Benazzi scrambling an extra couple of meters. Wide to Duart. Little Dominici getting in there like a flanker, taking it into the 22. Good stuff from the French again. Galtier just composing himself. Back it goes to La Maison. Over it goes, and that's the full set for La Maison in this match. Try, conversion, penalty, drop goal.
Yeah, that's a better kick. Straight through the middle. Brings them back into it.
And again, it was patience. They built up several phases of play, kept control. And when they do that, anything is possible. Mania. Huge kick. But again, he's picked out Jonah. Wilson, across it comes to Umaga, and they're hunting like a pack. Well, that wasn't so clever. Tunea, Benazzi. And it's the French who are really storming forward. Ibanez sets it up. Good ball. La Maison wide to Philippe Benatsal. He's got himself up against Rendell. Back against the forward. That's what they wanted. Galtier wide to Frank Tonnerre. Pelouse. Looks like a penalty to France is there if they don't get advantage. Back it goes to La Maison again. Over goes another drop goal. And France suddenly taking the game again to New Zealand. 24-16. If the All Blacks thought that that try was going to be the killer, they're mistaken.
Yeah, so about 7 days of drop goals, haven't we? Loads of them going over. And La Maison proving he can do it too.
Great stuff from the French. That was Bruzet. Again, they're rumbling forward really well, making dents. This time, hoists it high to midfield. It's Umaga who's underneath it. Dort. Oh, and he took his eye off it and looked at Dort. Richard Dort was tearing through there.
That's a much better kick. Putting pressure on Umaga. He was hanging high. Took his eye off it.
Tana Umaga, his brother Mike, plays for Samoa. Both of them actually born in New Zealand of Samoan parents, and Umaga decided to stay and try and get his All Black cap and succeeded. Great drive again from Pelouse. Galtier takes it on. Ibanez trying to get away, tackled by Kronfeldt. It's all France at the moment, and a penalty to France. They were coming round the side of the first of the balls. But in fact, they're saying from the scrum that Kronfeldt broke early, and that's what he's gone back to and penalised him for.
France taking it to New Zealand. It's amazing, you know, once again, the difference between the two teams is one man, Jonah. He scored 2 killer tries. France just hanging in, there he is.
Amazing career. It's hard to believe that Jonah is still only 24 years old, 6'5", 18.5 stone. Became the youngest ever All Black when he made his debut at the age of 19 years and 6 weeks against France in '94. He had that year or so off with that nephrotic syndrome, the kidney complaint. It's now under control. But here goes La Maison. Well, he's got stacks of length. No problems at all. And France are now back to within 1 converted try. 5 points behind. New Zealand 24, France 19.
Yeah, so they are back in it, and they deserve to be as well.
Quite incredible. They looked so good, didn't they, in '97 and '98 when they won those back-to-back Grand Slams, and it all fell apart. And the confidence went. Suddenly it's come flooding back. Oh, that's a poor kick. Straight down Merton's throat. Well, he kicks. I think I might have gone for Wilson and Lomu outside. Taken by Garbajosa, and he makes the mark. Ibanez. They haven't gone 10, so Jim Fleming deciding that there is no advantage and gives France a free kick again. Mania almost lost it. And there it comes to the All Blacks, the turnover. Cullen looking dangerous. Passes back inside and misses his man. Bruzet comes up with it. Benazzi. See, he fancied it again. La Maison tucks it in behind Umaga. Wilson waits inside and clears. La Maison. Kicks and goes, there's nobody down there, well spotted. Umanga's got to go back. Keeps his cool, gives it to Kronfeldt. A real flanker's kick, he ought to be ashamed of that. Galtier, Dominici. So I expect number 6s to kick, not number 7s. Denazzi. Maxwell tears him down. The All Blacks know this is a vital phase of the game. And Dort takes his hand off it, but offside against the All Blacks. They were all offside, and another chance for France to get themselves right back into it. Another 3 points is there for the taking.
And I tell you what, John, this Twickenham crowd is getting right behind the French. That was Dort's drop. You can see the All Blacks offside. Robin Brooke, a couple of yards.
It is another fantastic full house here at Twickenham. And the crowd are loving this. French stung by being written off. They felt they hadn't been given credit for coming through in the way they had. People were saying that they'd had a very easy draw. They hadn't had to play either a Five Nations team or a Southern Hemisphere team to get this far. Canada, Namibia, Fiji beaten in the pool, and then Argentina in the quarter-final. La Maison. He's drilled it, through it goes. My goodness. Suddenly a virtuoso kicking display from La Maison. All the pressure though, all the hard work being done by the French forwards. And they thoroughly deserve that scoreline. New Zealand 24, France 22. Well, that was a bit casual, but he got away with it. Umanga, Mertens, Wilson. Wilson decides to go himself. And the French have it. They're like terriers in those rucks at the moment. Dominici, he's going to go in. Dominici scores for France. They take the lead.
Oh, can you believe it? Dominici can't. French crowd can. They're loving it. It was a beautiful kick and a kind bounce. Galtier saw it, left foot, just chipped it over. Lovely bounce for Dominici, but he's now got pace to burn. Randall will get nowhere near him. And he zeroes in under the post, and the Twickenham crowd has gone mad.
He did it absolutely beautifully, didn't he? Picked the ball out one-handed. It bounced pretty kindly for him, but he still had everything to do. Well, he has been the real rapier edge of the attack. (27-24) to France, and the conversion still to come. La Maison. Over it goes, and now France have a 5-point lead, 29-24. And we'll see what the All Blacks are made of.
We certainly will. This try from this man, Dominici, has just changed the game on its head. Seemed all over 15 minutes ago, it certainly isn't now.
And the All Blacks bringing on reinforcements. Case Muse coming into the front row for Craig Dowd. And off comes Jaromir, and on goes Daryl Gibson into the centre to beef that up a bit. France too wanting to make a substitution. They're going to bring on the South African-born prop Peter de Villiers. He's coming on for Frank Tournaire. In fact, sorry, Cedric Soulette who's coming off. Mertens restarts. This time it was Ruben Thorne who came up with it. And New Zealand have the scrum.
Yes, amongst all the excitement, mustn't write New Zealand off. We know they're more than capable of coming back strong.
There's Daryl Gibson. He was in the starting lineup. There we see this All Black ploy, all lining up behind the scrum. Put it wide to Umanga. But no, they were obstructing, crossing over in front of the tackler and stopping the tackler, getting at his man.
Yes, quite right, Jim Fleming. As soon as a man runs in front of the ball, he's obstructing the tackler.
Booming kick from La Maison down to the 22. And of course it will be a French footy.
That's the crossing.
Yeah, the moment they make contact with a would-be tackler, you can bet your life that they're going to be called. Look at that, 45 ruck balls won by France. That is phenomenal. And they're trundling forward again. Amazing stuff from the French. In from the side went Maxwell. He only stopped him for a moment, though. The main core of them all still driving on. They're only 5 meters short. Back it comes. La Maison chips over and through it. Dort is there for the try. Richard Dort scores again for France.
Well, sensational. Dort, he can't believe it. And listen to this Twickenham crowd. They're loving it. It was great forward play. Wonderful vision from La Maison. Oh, they're queuing up to score. Dort got it down. Good try.
Well, we're just going into the final quarter. Christophe La Maison with a conversion attempt to give France a 12-point lead.
Quite amazing, John. We've got about 50,000 Englishmen cheering for France.
And what's quite incredible about it is the way the French forwards there really drove the All Blacks back 20-25 metres. Pierre Villepreux suddenly almost unable to believe it himself. Over it goes again. Now this is the biggest upset in World Cup history in the offing. 36-24, and certainly New Zealand have got to find something now.
Certainly have. Important kick-off now for France.
Knock on by the French. Randall, the captain. They need a captain's game from him. Case Muse. Gibson. There's going to be no easy breakthroughs here. Mertens, lovely pass to Umaga, to Wilson. And bundled into touch. They're not going to let him over easily. Wilson forced into touch. French under pressure, but at least they'll have the throw.
Yes, France fired up. Wilson going for the corner. Galtier does well. Carbajosa does well.
Not guys normally renowned for their tackling, but they're really going for it here. Running repairs in the middle of the field to De Villiers. An important line out. No mistakes here. Well, they went for the unusual. They went for Mania, but the All Blacks coming over the top. A penalty for France, and good chance for them to clear their lines.
Listen, this crowd is incredible. It's like England playing. They're really getting behind the French. Love the underdogs.
Up it goes, 10 metres outside the 22. But again, they will have the throw. Oh, he doesn't look happy, does he?
That's a worried man.
23 minutes gone in this second half. Plenty of time to get it back, but they've got to suddenly find something extra. And New Zealand steal the ball. That's a good start. Suddenly they're the ones rumbling forward. Mertens, Gibson, and Josh Bonfeld getting in front of the ball carrier and giving away another penalty.
And suddenly it's New Zealand giving away the penalties. And that, to me, John, is the difference with France in this half. They've disciplined well, they've not given away a lot of penalties, and they've put real pressure on the All Blacks.
Everything working well. That kick bouncing nicely. And the French are going to make another replacement. Well, there were only 2 penalties given away by New Zealand in the first half. Coming on, it's Arnaud Coste. He's been around quite a long time, made his debut right back in '94, but this is only his 11th cap in 6 years. Olivier Brouzet. In goes the drive. De Villiers in control at the moment. Now it's gone to ruck. La Maison hoists it high instead. Durant is tearing up. And Wilson takes it wonderfully. Cullen, wide, out to Gibson. Kronfeldt tried to get the inside pass. It was a French hand that knocked it down.
They're rattled though, John. New Zealand tried to run the ball out from their own try line.
My goodness, you just look at the pattern of this game, and now France have scored 26 points without reply.
It's been a sensational 15-20 minutes, hasn't it?
24-10 to 24-36. Galtier, he's played a huge part in this. The man who was written off as being too old came back in only when Pierre Mignoni was injured. 26 minutes gone. Well, France won't be unhappy with this. Just technical problems at the scrum, but it's down in the New Zealand 22, and they won't want to move from there.
Yeah, that's right, and eating up the clock, it's just what they want now.
Remember, New Zealand need at least 2 scores. Look at that, France turned it around completely. 63% of possession. Kelleher, well, it was all right. The ball was out, and France have come up with it. Now, if they can score again here, this could be the killer. They went for the drop goal. And everything going France's way. That was a free ball because they had already been offside. That was Maxwell who was offside at the ruck. And so, without needing any sort of clairvoyance, we can say that La Maison will be going for goal.
And this, John, is a very important kick because it will put them 15 ahead. Oh, he's not going for goal.
Well, they really are feeling confident. Going for the jugular, into the corner, win the line out, and let's try and drive over.
Well, 10 out of 10, that is brave.
Skrilla with his chin in his hand. Vielpre next. Magna, well read by Maxwell. Set move, trying to throw it back to the front, but the All Blacks had obviously studied that one. Mertens pushes it into space. Wilson is tearing up, but across comes Gabajosa. This is where it gets panicky. Well done, Dominici again. Knocked on by Cullen, but the French come back again. Now they've got men. La Maison, though, going for wide. Now Jonah Lomu, they need something from him. He's coming straight inside and up the middle. As usual, takes about 5 men to stop him. And the French just flopping all over the ball, trying to kill it.
You've got to say, though, John, France made a mistake there. They should have gone for goal.
Lomu again. Sets it up, Jim Fleming in the middle of the ruck. Doesn't blow, keeps his cool, gets up and realises he's missed nothing. Dangerous Gibson. Oh, diving over the top. That was, I think, the All Black back row. Cullen. Randall trying to get some continuity. That's what they haven't achieved this half. Back for the penalty to the All Blacks. French penalised for going over the top.
Going back to that penalty, John, if they'd have kicked that, they'd have been 15 ahead, then New Zealand would have had to score 3 times. I reckon that's a big mistake.
Especially as La Maison is on such a streak.
Yeah, and you're counting down the clock as well.
10 minutes left on the clock. Maxwell, Kelleher, Umaga. Tackle's firm, though. Back it comes. Mertens. That's Anton Oliver. Bit isolated. Cullen. The French suddenly looking much more secure. It's better from the All Blacks. Umaga. Hoff taking it up. Kronfeldt drops it, but it'll be a penalty. The French diving over the top, quickly taken by Mertens. Cullen, can he go for the outside? Tries to get round Dominici, gets inside to Umaga. Oh, it's bounced well for them. A little knock-on, says the referee.
Oh, it's frantic. New Zealand know they've got to score quickly to bring themselves back in the game. As Cullen going for the outside, lovely inside ball. Umaga almost makes it, he lobs it inside. Just a little knock-on, Jimmy Fleming was right.
Well spotted. Off comes the old campaigner, Robin Brooke. They've brought on Royce Willis. French under pressure in the scrum. Big push from the All Blacks. Back it goes to La Maison. Good clearance from him.
Was a good clearance and a lot of pressure. He's played well, La Maison.
He might not have the genius that Thomas Castanet has at his best, but he's a better organiser and he's certainly got a better kicking game. Oliver. Off the top from Maxwell. Getting it wide this time. Cullen! But even Entermac looking much happier, much more sound with his tackles. Brings his man down. Recycled. Mertens. Randall. Benazzi taking no dummies. I think Fleming may be ready to give a penalty for a high tackle. It was, yes. That was Benazzi. And again, the French take it back another 10 metres for not getting away from the ball quickly enough. Just trying to slow things down, and who can blame them?
Yes, he's got to keep the discipline now, make the tackles.
The All Blacks, knowing they've got to score tries, going for the scrum. They want all those French forwards locked into one place. 33 minutes gone. Quickly away, Kelleher, Mertens, Gibson. Mertens getting it round, Umaga's dropped it. Hacked away by Mania. He and Bernard Sell are after it. Mania chases on. Wilson's got a hell of a lot to do. He hasn't done it. Bernard Sell. The try is given. Bernard Sell has surely won this game for France. Claude Gord comes back to milk the applause.
Sensational. Look at this, All Blacks making mistakes. Simple drop. And now it's a foot race. Look at Bernard Sell. He's coming from nowhere. Randall's trying to get back. He isn't going to get there. Wilson ain't going to get there. He is. Bernard Sell
did everything right. It was a great pickup. Well, we are on the verge of the biggest upset in the whole of Rugby World Cup history. Nobody gave France a chance. And here they are. They cannot believe it when they look up at that scoreboard and see France 41, New Zealand 24.
It is absolutely sensational, John. We saw France play Fiji. They were very poor. Played better against Argentina, but really didn't show any sort of form. And today, every one of them a hero.
There's the man who can't miss at the moment. And France have taken the opportunity to swap scrum halves. Stéphane Castanet on for Fabien Galtier. La Maison. Over it goes. Sensation. France 43, New Zealand 24.
Mania made it, didn't he? He's had a fantastic game as well. Him and Benazzi, they've been picking the forwards, but Bernard Sell still took some scoring.
Well, this by far the highest total that France have ever scored against New Zealand. Back it goes to Wilson. 36 minutes gone. Umaga chips. Gets a lucky bounce. The French make a mistake for once. Do it though. Gathers it in. Penalty to the All Blacks. Kelleher can't afford to wait. He's got to take it. They've got to score at least 3 times, and they've all got to be converted tries. And this time, holding on by the All Blacks, it's the French who have the penalty.
Oh, it's all over, John. Not even the mighty All Blacks can come back from this.
And John Hart cannot believe it. The blackest of all black looks. On comes little Hugo Fula. And the man coming off, getting all the hugs and congratulations, and well he might, is Christophe Dominici. What a game he's had. Tore the All Blacks apart in the first half to show that it can be done. And Kelleher now limping off, his match over. What a time for Justin Marshall to have to come on. A lost cause, and he was already a very unhappy man at having been dropped.
Got to make the point though, John, it's a great moment for the Northern Hemisphere rugby, isn't it? It's now a classic Northern-Southern Hemisphere clash next week.
Yep, the only time that New Zealand have been beaten before in the World Cups was once by Australia in '91, and of course in the final in '95 by South Africa. And you could feel the self-belief growing by the moment from the French. A sensational upset here at Twickenham. Mertens, Cullen gets out of one tackle. Back it goes. Mertens to Maxwell. And the French strung out across the field. Well, Lamezon was up there so early. There's got to be a penalty, but the All Blacks away. They've got Umaga up to release on the outside. Back inside to Marshall. Again, the big vital tackle. Lomu! This time, though, he can't get away. Pelouse gets a big hand on him. Scrum down, All Blacks put in. We're into the 40th minute. It's all over. France are in the final against Australia.
Yeah, it's too little too late from the mighty All Blacks, and they know it.
Devastated in '95 when they were red-hot favourites. Devastated again here when once again they're favourites. And it's not to be. Marshall misses out. Wilson wriggles free, over he goes under the post. But we're into injury time almost. Just 6 seconds left on the clock. Face-saving exercise now. 43-29, the first All Black score of the second half.
Yeah, it's a quick conversion, but it's too late. It's just a consolation. Jeff Wilson, he's not letting them down. Little sidestep under the post, quick conversion, trying to speed it all up.
And the French aren't. They're having a stroll back to the halfway line. Jim Fleming won't let them waste too much time, but you cannot blame them. Ntamak comes off, and on goes Stefan Glass. We've played half a minute of injury time. The All Blacks setting it up. Randall. Justin Marshall. Cullen looking for space. Anton Oliver still charging forward. Bit of overlap here on the right. It's Gibson. But he's run out of ideas. Penalty to the All Blacks. There was an offside. So at least they get away with it and keep possession. Oliver, but he's in danger of being isolated. He sets it up. Justin Marshall drives on. Maxwell. Oh, he loses the ball forward. Knows he's got to get the passes away. The French desperate to get on it. The game is over. France have beaten the All Blacks. The biggest upset in the whole of Rugby World Cup history. And if France can reproduce this sort of form in the final next week, who's to say that we won't see the first Northern Hemisphere name on the William Webb Ellis Trophy? The final result, a sensational France 43, New Zealand 12. They're back on the pitch. Little Christophe Dominici, he had so much to do with it. He was absolutely brilliant. A tiny man, and the All Blacks know they are well beaten. An inspired performance from France, with the old war horses, men like Abdel Latif, Benazi, all coming back, and the French are in party mood. absolutely sensational scenes. And the final score, again, an unbelievable France 43, New Zealand 31.